if eternity is not something that starts after you die? What if eternity is not a destination? What if it's not something later? Because I think we've been taught to imagine eternity incorrectly. At least I was. When people say, I'm going to spend eternity in heaven, most of us picture a very, very long stretch of time. Almost like Earth time keeps going, but it never ends. Like there is still a clock somewhere, still a before and after, still a beginning point. A line that starts at death and stretches forever. But eternity is not a long amount of time. Eternity is outside of time. That is a completely different thing. When we think of eternity as a lot of time, we are still thinking from inside the box. We are still using earth language, earth measurements, earth fear, and earth logic to describe something that exists beyond the whole structure of time. It's like trying to describe the ocean from inside a drinking glass. The glass can hold water, yes, but the glass is not the ocean. That is how time works here on Earth. Time is the container we experience this human life inside of. We are born into this world, and immediately we are placed inside measurements. Birthdays, ages, due dates, school years, appointments, work schedules, deadlines, anniversaries, expiration dates, timelines, clocks, calendars. We are trained to believe life is a straight line. You were born here, you grow up here, you work here, you age here, you die. Then eternity begins somewhere over there. But what if that is not the full truth? What if the soul is not moving toward eternity? What if the soul is already eternal? That changes everything. Because if the soul is already eternal, then you are not trying to earn eternity. You are not waiting for eternity to begin, and you're not going to arrive at eternity one day and punch a heavenly time clock like, okay, I died, start forever now. No. You are already an eternal being, having a temporary human experience inside the structure of time. The body is inside time. The soul is not. The body ages. The soul witnesses. The body has a birthday. The soul has no beginning in the way the mind understands beginnings. The body has a death date. The soul changes form. The body participates in time, and the soul belongs to eternity. That is why earthly life can feel so strange when you begin to awaken. Part of you knows you have bills, you have errands, you have tasks, responsibilities. You're aging, you have deadlines, consequences. That's real at the human level. But another part of you starts to sense something deeper. You begin to feel that time is not the ultimate reality. You begin to realize that the present moment is not just a random point between past and future. The present moment is the doorway where eternity touches earth. That's why we can only meet God in the now. Not yesterday. You're not going to meet him tomorrow. Now. This breath. This moment. This awareness. This exact place where you are. The mind lives in time. I get it. The soul lives in presence. It's simple, not easy. The ego says, I'm running out of time. They're going to start without me. The soul says, return to now. The ego says, I should be further along. The soul says, you are here. Begin here. And the ego says, I missed it. I've missed out on something. The soul says, nothing real can be missed because what is real belongs to eternity. What is real cannot be threatened, and what is threatened cannot be real. And this doesn't mean we stop caring about our earthly lives. It doesn't mean we ignore responsibilities. It doesn't mean that time has no purpose. Time has a purpose. Time is part of the earthly classroom. Time lets us experience growth, change, contrast, choice, memory, grief, anticipation, healing, and becoming. Time allows the soul to enter a story. Without time, there would be no unfolding. There would be no childhood, no first kiss, no lessons learned the hard way, no seasons, no aging hands, no seed becoming trees, and no wound becoming wisdom. Time is not evil. Time is sacred scaffolding. But it's not the whole temple. The problem begins when we mistake the scaffolding for the truth. We begin to worship the clock. We live our lives by the clock. We begin to live like our worth is somewhere in the future as the time ticks away. We say, when I get that house, then I'll feel safe. When I find the relationship, then I can be whole. When I make the money, then I'll be free. And when I heal completely, then I'll be worthy. My favorite, when I finally become successful, then my life will begin. But that is the illusion. Your life is not waiting in the future. Your eternity is not waiting after death. Your soul is not waiting for permission to exist. You are here now. And now is the only place where anything real can actually happen. That is why anxiety is so often a spiritual alarm. Anxiety says, I am not where I am supposed to be. I should be somewhere else. I should be doing something else. I'm behind, I'm late, or I'm losing. There's no such thing as a second place, they say. There is only the first loser. That is a lie. What if you are inside a moment you have not fully entered yet? What if the reason the moment feels empty is because you are not in it? You are in tomorrow. You are in regret. And you are in comparison. You are in a future that does not exist yet, trying to solve a life that can only be lived one breath at a time. This is where presence becomes holy. Presence is not passivity. Presence is power. Presence says, I am here, God is here, therefore this moment is not empty. And when you begin to understand eternity, you stop treating time like a predator. You stop acting like the clock is chasing you around. And you stop measuring your divine worth by human deadlines. You stop believing that being delayed means being denied, and you stop believing that stillness means failure. You don't have to constantly be doing something. You begin to see time differently. Time becomes the little room where your soul is currently having an experience. Imagine that your eternal soul steps into a room. Inside that room, there's a clock on the wall. There are windows called memory. There are doors called choice. There is furniture called circumstance. There are seasons painted on the ceiling. And there are other souls moving through the room in bodies. Everyone is looking at the clock, thinking the clock is the ruler of the room. But the soul is not from the room. The soul entered the room. The soul can experience the room without becoming trapped by it. That is what awakening does. It reminds us, I am in time, but I'm not made up of time. I am in a body, but I am not only the body. I am in a story, but I am not limited to this chapter. And I'm experiencing a human life, but my essence belongs to God. That's why death is not the opposite of life. Death is the edge of the room. It is the doorway where the soul leaves the time structure of that particular body and continues in God. The body returns to earth. The breath returns to source. And the soul? The soul continues. The soul has no beginning and has no ending. And when you really begin to understand this, you do not become careless with life. It allows you to live your life more courageously. You become more reverent because this moment is not just a moment. This moment is eternity wearing a clock. This body is not just a body. This body is earth animated by breath. This life is not just survival. This life is a sacred experience inside time. So no, you are not going to die one day and clock into eternity. You are already eternal. You're not waiting for forever to begin. You're standing inside forever right now, experiencing one human chapter through the mercy of time. And maybe that is why Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. Because heaven is not merely a faraway location after the clock stops. It is a reality we awaken to. It is scattered here, hidden in plain sight, revealed through love, presence, truth, surrender, union with God. You don't find eternity by running faster. You find it by becoming still enough to notice that the door was open the whole time. So take a breath. Look around. Here you are. God is here. The moment is alive. And you are not running out of time. You are remembering who you are beyond it. Thanks for listening. Remember, it's not what you build, it's who you become.